This morning, we're closer to seeing at least part of a highly sensitive affidavit explaining in detail why the FBI wanted to search former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. The federal judge who signed the search warrant has ordered the Justice Department to propose a redacted document for public release. At the same time, the Trump Organization's former chief financial officer has pleaded guilty in a New York tax fraud case, potentially making him a witness in a future trial. Senior investigative correspondent Catherine Herridge is outside the Justice Department. Catherine, good morning.
Good morning, Vlad. Thursday's court action in New York and Florida could have significant ramifications for the former president, who faces multiple civil and criminal investigations. Meantime, the Justice Department has just 6 days to propose what information should be blacked out or redacted from that affidavit. A Trump spokesman said the entire record should be public.
On Thursday, the federal judge who approved the FBI search of former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home almost 2 weeks ago found the Justice Department had not met the high threshold for showing that the entire affidavit should remain sealed. But he did order the immediate release of these other procedural records that provided some insight into the possible crimes that led to the Mar-a-Lago search. They include willful retention of national defense information, concealment or removal of government records, and obstruction of a federal investigation.
We are entitled to monitor the affairs of our government at all levels.
The judge agreed with media organizations, including CBS News, that at least some of the affidavit that supports the Mar-a-Lago search could be unsealed.
It is up to the public to determine what is meaningful in this investigation.
Prosecutors argued releasing any portion of the affidavit would threaten their investigation and the safety of potential witnesses and the FBI agents involved.
Well, DOJ is saying there's a lot more to come.
Scott Frederickson is a former federal prosecutor.
How extraordinary is this situation?
It's surprising that the judge is willing to unseal any part of the affidavit. The government wins these arguments 99 out of 100 times. And whether it's President Trump or anybody else who's the target of this search warrant, that's very bad news.
Meanwhile, in a state court in New York City, the Trump Organization's former chief financial officer, Allen Weisselberg, pleaded guilty, admitting to conspiring with the former president's company to evade taxes on nearly $2 million worth of corporate perks.
Allen, how'd it go in there?
In the plea deal, Weisselberg agreed to jail time and agreed to testify against the Trump Organization, but not the former president himself, when the case is scheduled to go to trial this fall. Tony.
All right, got it. Catherine Herridge for us. Catherine, thank you very much.